I spray with my little eye, something beginning with B.
B. Oh, is it that bush?
No.
It's the middle of the day and 8-year-old Ronin should be in the classroom. But his mum is teaching him at home now because she says the school couldn't cope with his autism. Ronin agrees.
I felt sad and unsafe, and it was the worst place in the world.
The worst place in the world. Ronin became frustrated, angry, and the teachers seemed unable to help.
And I got really tired that our concerns were always being dismissed and made to feel like there wasn't any issues there, but his struggles were very real. For an autistic child, perhaps, that can't sit still because they need to fidget to regulate their emotions, or can't give eye contact because it's actually painful. And so what ends up happening is they get told off. They can even be excluded from their peers or even activities that they've been looking forward to. And that in itself has such a negative impact on a child's mental health and well-being. And we're actually finding that it's caused a fair bit of trauma that we're having to unpick now.
We partnered with one of the UK's largest teaching unions for a survey of primary and secondary teachers in mainstream schools. Only 4% said neurodivergent pupils always get the support to which they're entitled. 43% answered rarely or never. Many put it down to difficulties obtaining assessments of pupils' needs and teachers and staff not receiving the appropriate training. Only 46% told us they have received specific training on teaching neurodivergent pupils within the last 2 years. 73% told us there aren't enough specialist teachers.
It's really disheartening.
The pressure of working with children with SEN or special educational needs is one of the reasons Jessica left full-time teaching.
You are working so hard to give these children the best opportunities and the best learning opportunities possible, but there's only so much you can do with the training that you've been given, the support you're being given. A lot of classes I've been into when I've been doing supply work, you know, there's 25-50% SEND. That's a lot of children who are going to need IEPs, EHCPs, paperwork, following up with them, and it's draining, it's exhausting.
EHCPs are education and healthcare plans, documents setting out the extra support a child needs. Long waiting lists for assessments and diagnosis lead to delays in funding for schools to provide the help.
Not anger outbursts, but everyone gets angry, do you know what I mean? But
yeah. For Dean, who was diagnosed with autism at 10, a lack of support led to overwhelming frustration.
I would always resort to hurting people, trashing classrooms, and even trying to escape the school because I just felt like I was so trapped.
At first, he was banned from mixing with others at playtime. By 11, he was spending the whole school day alone in a small room.
I think the last issue was I had a fight with another pupil and then actually chased this boy around the school, and I was cornered by at least 5 teachers, and I think trying to push past them and things like that, but then they'd called my mum. I went home and that was the last time I ever went there. Yeah, from there it all went downhill. I was so depressed and I had problems sleeping, so I've been on that medication, and it took a big toll on me, my mental health.
Neurodivergent children are much more likely than their peers to be excluded. One recent study found 46% of children with ADHD had been excluded at some point, and 25% of those with autism by the time they were 14.
Children are being failed by the system, not because of the efforts of teachers, because teachers are working tirelessly to support those pupils. But as I say, without that additional support for pupils, it does make the lives of teachers increasingly difficult.
The union wants the government to publish a promised action plan, a green paper, addressing support in mainstream schools.
We've been hearing this now for months and months and months, and I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I know that's caused disruption, but actually these pupils get only one chance. It's vitally important that the government responds with real urgency to what is a growing and desperate situation for those pupils and indeed for their teachers.
Dean has discovered a talent for music. He was eventually found a place at a special school, did well in his GCSEs and has high hopes for the future. But he believes he should have thrived in a mainstream setting, and he wasn't given a chance.